are cooling down from a run here in Malibu, in a little country mart to grab a little coffee. So cute. On my run this morning, I was listening to the All In podcast, getting caught up on what's going on with Fable 5 and Anthropic and the US government, and there's a lot to take away. I'm not even going to jump into the political implications, how that even works in a free market, whether this is even up for a private company to make decisions versus is there some sort of gatekeeping or regulatory process that does need to take place. Not even going there. So what I did want to share was a point that Freeberg made, and it's about the productivity of AI and how we hear a lot of job elimination, even from Dario at Anthropic and other leaders, but making sure that we don't forget about the productivity. And when you're looking at a company, you've got your revenue and you've got your expenses. What I'm seeing personally is expenses are your human, your labor, etc. There might be marginal savings there. This used to be 3 jobs, now it can maybe be 2. There might be some decreases in those expenses, but how does that compare to the productivity piece? Incredibly increased. Again, this is anecdotal. I'm not a financial analyst. This is not financial advice. This is just an experience. The other piece that wasn't explicitly stated, but just hearing about some of the scientific and medical discoveries and leaps and bounds that we can make because of this technology. What an awesome time to be alive, because we're going to see some profound medical breakthroughs. There are people that are going to live longer. There are people that are going to have a very different life and a very different experience and less suffering, and we could create more food, we could create cures. Like that, coupled with the SpaceX IPO on Friday, and you're seeing a lot of these pictures of Elon and where SpaceX started 20 years ago and where they are now, and where we could be in the next 20 years. We could be, on the moon, on Mars, have reusable rockets. Like, what an incredible time to be here, where we're seeing so many advancements and so many changes in our day-to-day lives that are truly going to be life-changing and positive. And of the many, many years that humans have been here, we're in this teeny tiny sliver that we're getting to live through and experience and be on the front row seat of all of this. Yeah, within all the noise, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot to take in. Don't forget to remember that we are pretty darn lucky to get to be living in this time. And we also need to make some of these positive stories a little louder. Overall, just make positivity louder. That's probably not a bad idea. Maybe it's the West Coast, it's getting to me. I mean, I've been here for 24 hours and I'm just a big ray of sunshine. I'm glad you're here. I mean, also, what a cool time that I can just talk to people from my phone and upload this to a world, and we can have a conversation and we can be here for each other and share our learnings and experiences with people around the world. I mean, it's a time. I think it's California, but I'm here for it.
And just like that, we're back in the Northeast. Not really. There was a lot of travel and delays and some craziness involved, but it is so lovely to be home. It's always great to go on a vacation trip, just get out of your house, away from to-dos, laundry, groceries, all the things that I tend to consume my weekend with. It's nice to get away and just do the things. But then it's also nice to get home and get back into routines and work out and get your protein in, because that's what we're doing these days, is we're getting all the protein. But while I was working out, I was just listening to a few podcasts to get up to date on what happened with Fable 5. I was a little in and out over the weekend. And Fable 5 was just to get you up to speed really quickly, was the most recent model that Anthropic released. It was the safeguarded version of Mythos, which I talked about, I think, in the last vlog or a vlog before, because I was very excited and I had run a few tasks and set up a few scheduled tasks using that model. But yeah, I guess there were some, I don't know, I'm not getting into the details. It could get a little political, I think, too. Maybe that's just the podcast I was listening to. But I think anytime you have Washington and you have a private company and you have a little bit of friction, people are going to turn things political. Not political here. But all that to say, it broke some of my scheduled tasks that I had going because I had selected that model. So I'm thinking about how impactful this could be to an organization if a third party, if you are giving that control to someone else and they can turn on and off the switch at any time, and their control is dependent on someone else's telling them that they can turn it on and off. So I just think that open source models, on-prem local models, it's maybe not as good, the technology isn't as up to speed, but running some sort of AI model in your organization that you have control of, even if it's only 75 to 80% the quality of one of these frontier models like OpenAI and Anthropic and Gemini, etc. I can see the value in that. Like, I am just one person in a smaller organization, and how the ripple effects affected me, I can't imagine what that looks like in a larger organization. So definitely this is peeling back some vulnerabilities that we have gotten lucky, that we just didn't have to think about. So yeah, now I'm rethinking everything. Anyway, with that, we're gonna go run because we need that for the brain.
Okay, on my run, I just remember I have never shared what I consider my AI pilled gateway drug to all things AI. So in probably February-ish, when OpenClaw was a big thing, I decided to input all of my health information. So if you're into peptides and your VO2 max and your zone 2 workouts and strength training and getting a gram of protein for every pound, if that's your world, then you're going to love this. So I input a slew of information into my OpenClaw. You could do this with Claude if you're comfortable giving your medical information, or whatever LLM. So I took the Garmin. I think there's an API. If not, you can access everything through the browser. There's 8 Sleep, maybe your Apple Health data, any of your blood work, hormone testing, give it your regular schedule of your workout. You can bring in, like, if you're tracking your food, your MyFitnessPal, everything about you. And then you can just say, hey, here are my goals. I'd like to maximize my lifespan. I'm this X amount of years old. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to prove. Help me improve. If there's someone that you follow or listen to, I am like a Huberman fan. And I have a few other health folks that I listen to. You can always say, hey, use some of their insights and help me build out a plan. Or are there any areas that I could improve? Oh, I forgot to say, take a picture of all your supplements, whether you're taking them, not taking them, etc. Here's what happened that was so incredible. Is say like 3 weeks later, I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling well. What can I do? And it says, well, you know, your lemon water, your fluids, bone broth. It gives me the normal spiel. But then it says, also, you have a wellness formula supplement in your refrigerator. Take 6 of those twice a day. And I'm like, what? Totally forgot I had that. So if you haven't been AI pilled and you're just slightly into health, wellness, that's when I got hooked. I was like, oh, you can do this. You're definitely taking over everything I do in my life. Wait, did we just create an app? that prompts you and connects to all your accounts and then sends you daily, monthly check-ins like, hey, you haven't slept well, you're taking this, your HRV is low, here are some tips, tricks. Again, this is not medical advice. Does anybody want to be a co-founder? I think we might have an app idea, y'all. Cheers! It's Friday, and this has been a week of out of office. We were in California for a few days. I came home late and worked from home one day, just catching up on life. And then yesterday went to the US Open at Shinnecock and had the best time. I think that live golf events might be my favorite sports event. I play enough golf and watch enough golf that I fangirled on, basically there was someone in every group I had a favorite. Also, I have a bit of ADHD. I don't know if that's completely medically proven, but I definitely feel like I have a lot of the symptoms, but I can move around. So if I want to sit in the stands on hole 9 and watch 4 groups come in, great. If I want to leave and I want to go watch somebody else, if I want to watch par 3, if I want to watch par 5, if I want to sit in the tee box, or I want to stand on the green, like it's just a different energy and vibe wherever you are, and you can change it at any time. And you get like 20,000 steps in because you're moving around. And you can drink alcohol, you can drink coffees, it's just the best time. Yeah. And I think it's important sometimes to think about, what are we working for? And I'll get into these modes where I just like work 7 days a week. Especially February AI, OpenClaw. I was spending every free moment trying to figure out AI. And I think that that's great. And we need those seasons too, but we've got to have some seasons to just refresh, decompress. And I think this week was really what I needed to do that. Yeah, I guess I could take my sunglasses off since I'm always wearing sunglasses. You know what? Let's keep them on. Okay, so I just watched the video. Today is Friday. I'm posting every vlog Friday morning. I watched the video that I had recorded last week and realized I clipped out a lot of the pieces that were actually valuable. So I was grappling with the idea of, do I take it down? Do I re-edit it, re-upload it, and make things a little more polished and perfect, and then decided, no, this is just it. This is just me. I'm going to break things. I'm going to do things incorrectly. This is a journey, and that's okay, because if we keep trying to perfect everything, sometimes we just don't get it done. So we got it done, and one of the big pieces that I was meaning to share is that I feel like, especially in finance, AI has impacts not only on our personal life, and I did share that, and the overwhelm and how that's impacting folks, but really going in and doing your day-to-day job and how that's impacting the companies that many of us are working for and with. And so many, there's valuations, there's narrative versus fundamentals when you're trying to create those valuations, and forward earnings. There's just so much to think about. There is CapEx spending, there is the SaaS apocalypse. Are we going to need software? How is that going to get impacted? There are impending IPOs this year. We just had SpaceX IPO. There's only so much liquidity in public markets, and as things change and scale and we're finding efficiencies, where are those efficiencies? Companies themselves are seeing, this, OpEx line item tokens, and where did that come from, and how does that fit in? If we're increasing our expenses for all of this spending on AI, where are we seeing that in the bottom line? Are we seeing that? Where is it at? There's just so much to think about, especially in finance, that if you are in finance, I think it's a little extra overwhelming. I think everyone's feeling a little disruption or impending disruption that may come to their industry. But I do feel like this is impacting how we see the companies we work for and with, and how to measuring this impact. Nobody's really figuring out, right? Like there's different measurements. I think revenue per employee is a measurement piece. There's just a lot. So if you're in finance, I'm with you. It can be overwhelming. But we're here. We're all going through this together. We can continue to learn and be observant and be flexible and nimble, because there's so much that's changing. Oh, someone's calling me. Hang on just a sec. We're recording from the phone today because we're doing this. So something I wanted to share that I would love to spark a conversation about is a company called Taste. It's all over my X feed right now, and it's sparking a really interesting conversation about how, we have AI slop and we're all getting the same output, and really their goal is to bring some of that taste to AI. And I just think it's an interesting concept. How do you define taste? And right, and if it's available to the masses and it becomes commoditized, doesn't it just become the same output we're getting from Claude and OpenAI that looks the same? Isn't that just kind of changing the template of the output? I don't know. What is taste, and how important that is to the conversation that I continue to have and work through, which is, again, if you consider what you do in your job and remove all of the outputs, remove the slide decks, the emails, anything that's just an actual output, and you strip that away, what is left? Is there taste? Is there judgment? Is there relationships? What is left? That is going to become incredibly valuable. That's the moat, right? Like, strip all the pieces away, and what's left is going to become truly valuable. Artist, craftsmanship, creativity, taste, judgment. So is that something that we can automate and replicate and use AI? Maybe there's some pieces there. So I think there's a lot of definitions that we really need to define, and understanding what is commodity and what is much more rare, I think is an interesting conversation. So I hope that you are having a wonderful week. If you haven't taken a break to just decompress, highly recommend taking a few days. I know that's hard for some people. It's an absolute luxury to be able to have some time away, even if it's just working from home, a little staycation, going to a local beach or park, or cooking out, whatever it might be, to simplify your life and just have a little downtime. I have found what's great about this vlog is that I can actually watch my anxiousness and nervous system in real life in video, and then go back and see what that looks like later. If you're seeing it, you're like, girl, take a break, put it in the comments when you start to see me get a little frazzled. But have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself, be well, and stay curious. Thanks, y'all.